When placed vertically, it's held in by a screw. Makes sense because it looks heavy. It looks like you beat somebody in the head with it.
I ain't no shorty.
Okay, so they're making it quieter, I guess. So when you go to the elevator of 2K, when you go to your apartment, it doesn't go off. Your whole PlayStation doesn't go off like a whole steam engine.
All the pins at once. Now that would be
cool. You can watch it at 722. Yeah, CZ already a better quality.
PlayStation 5
Okay, it's PlayStation 5. Larger than the size is larger than that of a plate. Okay, my thing is, bro, this thing looks way too big. Like, processing power card. My problem is, first of all, this thing is about as big as dude's torso. I don't know, it's because he's short. I don't really know what it is. I'm not the tallest man either, but apparently this is bigger than a PlayStation 4. And my thing is, especially when you're trying to lay it to the side, it looks too wide also. But it's like, well, bro, it's like, it's inconvenient for people trying to put it on a desk, and I don't see many people standing it. Like me, I'm gonna have mine laying flat, not on a desk, but like on your well, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. I just stop being dirty and clean my stuff up. High speed, so they got a type A and type C. I have a type C port on my PC, but my motherboard doesn't support it, so it doesn't work. But a USB-C, isn't that, can't you not plug it in wrong? Isn't it like not, it's not, I know it's not the same as Apple. I think it is the same as Apple, right? Doesn't Apple use a C? You just plug it in any direction. That's what that is. Yeah, I really don't see the benefit unless it charges or something like that. Using that USB, I don't see the point. I will now remove the base. But you gotta screw it in. When placed vertically, it's held in by a screw. Makes sense because it looks heavy. It looks like you beat somebody in the head with it.
I ain't no shorty.
Restore. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of cool. That's for if you want to, that's different. Okay, that's good then. They do have a stand and support for that, so it's not just laying flat, because clearly the console ain't flat, so it's not gonna lay flat. It's probably gonna be wobbling and stuff. That's cool. Both white panels can be removed. They was talking about this. Yo, we can't understand a word this man's saying. We just gonna mute and I'm gonna talk over him. This is where the cooling fan is built in, so it's air cooled, fan cooled, capable of drawing a lot of air from both sides. Okay, so they're using fanning. I mean, obviously. 2 dust catchers. Okay. For future storage, there's an M.2 and a PCI 4 support is what that. Okay, that's different. It makes sense. So I have a question, right? If it supports M.2, which is cool, along with PCIe 4, because some motherboards I think don't support that yet, right? Some motherboards don't support PCI 4 yet, right? PCIe 4, my bad. But with the M.2, you see the different holes you can screw it in. My thing is with the M.2s, if you open this and this voids your warranty or customer, what you call it, your manufacturer's guarantee, why would you have it? Like, I guess, would you tell them, if let's say your PlayStation broke, right, and you put an M.2 in there, would you tell them beforehand? Would you have to in order for it to not be? How does the like policies work on that? Because you're saying we could add them in there for expansion purposes, right? For storage, for storage, just because we want to add more storage as an M.2. Because if you didn't know, M.2s, I need to learn how to speak today. M.2s are essentially like these little sticks. They're a type of SSD. They're like the fastest one. They transfer data really fast. They're like little chips. You stick them in on your motherboard, slide and screw them in. Sometimes they have a cover. Yada yada yada. Just look it up. They're more expensive, but I'm not gonna get too far into that. But basically, if it voids your warranty, are there rules or something against this? Are there like, is there like a second, like a double standard for people that decide just to remove it for the M.2? Or are they talking about if you go deeper and like break it all the way apart? That's my question. So now he's gonna tear it down. I'm assuming they wouldn't mind you putting storage in there though. I think if you do all of this, that's when they have issues. Yeah, don't tear your PlayStation apart, but we're gonna show you. They should have just had all the parts laid out. Hey, don't tear your PlayStation apart, but I'm gonna show you how. Like, if you didn't want us to as consumers to know or tear it apart, you shouldn't have put a video of you tearing it apart. That's just, I get what you're trying to do, but I don't. You're teaching me how to tear it apart and I'm not supposed to. This thing looks like too much work. This thing looks more difficult than a PC to take apart. I'm not even gonna cap. Yeah, this thing looks a little too, like, it looks a little like too much. Like I know how to take apart laptops. To me were complicated. I know how to take apart laptops, right? This was more difficult than a laptop. And they're not difficult depending on who you talk to, but for me, like these look more complex than that. The drive unit is completely covered with a sheet metal case mounted with 2 layers of insulator, noise, vibration, and disc spin. Okay, so they're making it quieter, I guess. So when you go to the elevator of 2K, when you go to your apartment, it doesn't go off. Your whole PlayStation doesn't go off like a whole steam engine. These things are literally built similar to a laptop, though. That's crazy. CPU has 8 cores and 16 threads. They're using a Ryzen Zen 2. First memory we have installed 8. Maximum bandwidth of 448 gigabytes per second. That's system memory. Okay, so it says for storage they're going with an SSD, an 825 gig SSD instead of a hard disk. That's okay. So like that's cool then. So instead of using the M.2, they're going with the SSD now. So that's kind of the future of gaming. I don't know, SSDs might be taking over completely, but honestly I feel like they won't though, because like HDDs are so cheap nowadays. You can get, like, bro, you can get a 1 terabyte for $50 and you can get a 2 terabyte for $50. Like the prices on them are so weird. Like you can get like a big drive for cheap. You go on set for man, they don't care anymore. The PS5's SoC is a small die, a very clock. This led to a very high thermal density in the silicone die, which has required us to significantly increase the performance of thermal conductor, also known as a TIM. The PS5, this is what people were tripping about. The PS5 utilizes liquid metal. So I've seen videos about people talking about liquid metal. I don't like, I've seen somebody test it. I forgot the results. I don't know if they're trying to push that as a alternative to thermal paste, a better one. I don't know if liquid metal is better. I'm assuming it's more expensive because it's liquid metal, right? I don't know if that actually, how that improves temperatures. I could look, let me look it up actually. Liquid metal for cooler is worth it over paste. Don't buy it because it could corrode your cooler. It's messy. Yeah, so a lot of people are saying don't buy it. So I don't know. Maybe this is bad, but I can't really. You can see videos and people saying it's terrible, and the majority saying it's terrible. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you've never used it before, you can never really judge it. So I don't know. But I feel like people are gonna keep using paste. But I feel like they're trying to go. I mean, this might be the new direction people going in, you know. But then again, it's a console. You're not worried about taking it apart and all that. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. But if it really causes corrosion, is that good for a PlayStation? Could that lead to long-term damage? Could the plate
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
There's a liquid metal right there. I don't know about that one. It says various conceivable tests have been conducted during this adoption process. So I mean, if they tested and they got it good, and yeah, but I don't know. That's a big heat sink. PS3, PS4, it uses a heat pipe, obviously. However, the shape and airflow made it possible to achieve the same performance as a vapor chamber. Okay, Sony, we see you, Sony. We see you now. This is a power supply unit. Wow, it's 350 watt. That's crazy. That's wild. 350. That's not a lot. Yeah, this thing seems way too difficult to assemble. This is about as difficult when I had to disassemble a laptop one time. Probably even harder. What you see here is all the parts of a PlayStation 5. You took it apart fast, but what was really stopping that man from just laying the parts out and giving us an explanation on everything? Why do you have to tear it down?